Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am excited to share with you today actually a few stories from my life and experience, but I want to start with something that's been on my mind just the last 48 hours. I've been really thinking about the story in Luke. You can find it also in Matthew and Mark about Jesus following his disciples into the boat and a storm coming up. And he went to sleep in the bottom of the boat. In Mark, it says he went to sleep on a pillow. And a storm came up, and it says they were taking water on. And they woke Jesus up. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this story. And what I want to bring to your attention is a lot of times when we hear this story, it's brought up that, that Jesus said to them, why do you have so little faith? And then he rebuked the storm and said, peace, be still. What I want to bring to your attention today is that Jesus was with them. He is Emmanuel, and his presence in our life changes everything. And so as we go into this new year, I want to encourage you to adopt the Emmanuel principle in your life. And what that means is acknowledging his presence. Think about it. His disciples, he went into the boat. He'd been teaching all day. You can read in all of the Gospels, it talks about how he was sharing parables with people. And you know that his body was tired. And his disciples were probably thinking, no, don't bother him. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. They forgot the fact that he was with them. Just his presence in our life changes everything. You know, I started thinking about this Emmanuel principle. And I was reminded of when I was younger, I left home at 16 years old to attend a Bible college. My family lived in California. I was going to Bible college in Joplin, Missouri. Some of you are my friends, college friends, and so you knew me then. And I was 16 years old. And I remember when I got there, I felt this faith to go. And so my parents brought me, they left, they went back to California. I'm in Missouri in a whole new culture. And I remember praying and crying and saying, Lord, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I have this in me to stay here. And this happened for a week, maybe two. And I remember I was kneeling beside my bed and I was crying and saying, Lord, I don't think I can do this. And the Lord said to me, you trusted me to get you here. Trust me to keep you here. See, that still small voice, that presence of God, it changed everything. From that point on, I said, yes, Lord, I will trust you to keep me here, just like I trusted you to get me here. See, I was also reminded of a time when I just had our second son, Grant, and he is 23 now. And so that tells you how many years ago this was. And my husband and I were going through a particularly hard time in ministry, a lot of spiritual warfare, if you will, and things that were happening that I didn't really fully understand or know how God was going to work things out. We were pastoring in Arkansas, and Grant was maybe 2 or 3 weeks old. And I remember getting up in the night to change his diaper in a little bassinet. And such a fear came over me, of a fear of what's going to happen next, a fear that the enemy was stronger than God. And I was looking down, I was changing his diaper, and all of a sudden I looked up, and the Lord opened my eyes, and I saw angelic beings on every window of my home. The room that I was in had 4 windows, and there were angelic beings standing outside of each window. And I said, thank you, Lord, I trust you. His presence changes everything. See, he was in the boat. He's with you. He is Emmanuel. The third and last story I want to share with you just happened about 3 or so years ago, when the Lord really directed us to resign our lead pastor position at the last church we pastored in Oklahoma City. And I know many of you, I know you from there, and you're my friends, and that was a hard decision for us to make, but we knew that the Lord was leading us to do this. Right after we resigned, we went to Redding, California, and spent a couple of days just to recuperate and to get ministered to. And I just want to encourage you, I'm standing in this worship service and I'm asking God, why? Why did you direct us to resign? Why did all the things that happen there? I didn't understand how the Lord could, in my mind, allow what happened to happen. And the Spirit of God said to me, what you think is loss is for your deliverance. See, his presence, his voice changes everything. And I understood then, I don't see the full picture here. But if God says this is for my deliverance, then I'm all in. I want freedom. I want wholeness. His presence, the Emmanuel principle, it changes everything. Acknowledge him. Just like his disciples did in the boat. They said, Jesus, do you not care? We're taking in water. And Jesus stood up and said, peace be still. See, this coming year, we're not promised that there's not going to be storms. I'll guarantee you there's going to be storms. But what we are promised is that God is with us. He is Emmanuel. And so I encourage you, as you step into this new year, adopt the Emmanuel principle in your life. See him in every situation. Acknowledge him in every day. He is God with us. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's Eve, and I'll see you next year.